Hi, I'm Mandeep Singh, founder of Mandeeps.com, and in this video we'll be working with our style switcher for our Tahoe theme. So let's get started. What I have here is a installation of DNN 9.1 in which I've already installed the Tahoe theme, and we've imported a sample site so we have something to work with. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and log in here as a host or super user. Now it's important that you're logged in as a super user because the style switcher is only visible to super users. And once you're logged in as a host, you will see the style switcher appear right here. And this is where you can interact with it. So I'm going to go ahead and click here on the first icon and see there's a bunch of themes here. There's home and inner. The home and inner themes are shipped with Tahoe by default. And these themes cannot be customized for obvious reasons, because if you have an upgrade released down the road, you don't want your changes to overwrite. So what we require is that you create your own new theme to be able to customize it. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this my theme. You can give it any name you like, and I'm just going to hit create. It says, would you like to apply this theme to the current portal? And this is equivalent of doing it from manage themes and setting it. I'll just say yes and I'll apply that. Okay. Alright, now that we have a new theme created, I see it selected here, so we know that's the theme that we're working on, that's the theme we're customizing. So the question comes is, why create new themes? Well, you want to create new themes when anytime you want to customize the theme. And you could do that for a new theme for a different portal, a new theme for even different pages. So a lot of different reasons why you would want to create new themes. Okay, so let's take a look at, now that we've created a theme, let's take a look at some of the basic things we have in Style Switcher before we look at in detail. So these on the top are options and things that allow you to customize the theme. On the bottom are the basic controls for Style Switcher. So let's take a look at that really quick. After you make any changes to Style Switcher, and let's say you don't like what you've done and you want to reset back, you can always click on this button and reset. It will reset back to the last saved changes. If you like what you see and you're ready to save the changes, you'll use the save button. Let's say you want to delete a theme you just created because you no longer use them on any pages or in the portals, then you would do that through this button right here. And lastly, we have a lock sidebar icon here. So if this is unlocked and as I hover out, this automatically kind of collapses back. And if you're working with it actively, then you would want to keep the slot so it stays in there in place so you can work on it. Alright, so now that we've looked at the basic of style switchers and what it does, let's start customizing this new theme we just created. So the very first thing we have here is called layout. In this Tahoe theme, we have 7 different headers. So let me switch over to header number 4, and then what you will see is the header on the top of the theme has completely changed. So Tahoe has 7 different headers, and I'm going to switch over to our site here on Mandeeps.com that talks about Tahoe. And I just want to show you that there's 7 different headers here that you can choose from. So instead of switching over at one each, I just want to quickly show you at a glance that there's headers that have the menu and the logo at the bottom, they have menu and logo centered, and so forth. So that's what the headers are doing on the top. One of the new features we've added to Tahoe is header overlap. And I'm going to switch back really quick to header 1, the default one, to show how that works. If you notice here, we have a slider module that is actually our live slider module that's running in the background, and it's starting at the very top of the theme. It's almost to the edge, to the bottom, and the way that's happening is the menu is kind of overlaid and the header is kind of overlaid on top of the module, and that is this header overlap. If I disable that, then the header is not overlapped and the slider starts at the bottom. You can see now it starts at this edge versus the header overlap. So that's a neat feature that allows you to kind of turn that on and off on any of the headers. Now once you have the header overlap disabled, you have this black bar that kind of comes up. So that's that's there, but you can customize that color. If you go to colors, we have introduced a new option called header color, so you can go ahead and take any color you want. You're not limited to that black color that you see. So that's also pretty nice. We'll cover the colors in more detail when we get to it, so I'm going to switch back to header here and turn that overlap back on. So next thing that we've introduced in Tahoe, also to make the customization very is the sticky header option. So as you scroll down, you see there's a header that on the top. We call this sticky header. This kind of appears and sticks up on the top, so your users always have the access to the main navigation. Now some people will prefer to turn that off, and you can simply do that by clicking disable, and once you do that, you see that it no longer appears on the top. And if I hit enable, then it will come right back on, and if I scroll. So I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the page here really quick, just to make sure that everything is in sync, and go back and make sure that's enabled and that is appearing again. Alright, the border style, you can do the rounded corners or square. Now this is a very subtle change, but it applies throughout the site. If you see right now, the menu on the bottom has kind of rounded corners here, on the bottom here as well. If I change this to square, then anywhere where we were using rounded corners, it kind of becomes now flat and square, as you can see now down here, and it kind of applies throughout the site at different subtle things. Okay, so layout style, we have the boxed option and we have the wide option. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, so you can see the boxed and have this kind of minimized back in. So if you click on boxed option, as you can see, the entire site is now boxed in right here, instead of going edge to edge from the left and right. So that's a pretty nice option. Now this is usually used if you want to have your own background images in the back, and here's an example. I just put one in background image, or if you want to use a pattern and so forth. That's what it's really used for. Now also you could change the background color from light to a dark version. So if you do a dark version, as you can see, this right here, part of the sites like this right here would change from a darker to a lighter version like that. Right, so that's it for the layout. The website type, normal versus one-page website, that is something that that we have a separate video on, that I would recommend you take a look on how to create a one-page website. So we're not going to cover this here. I'm going to switch back to wide here and go back to our defaults. Alright, so let's look at colors. The next one, I'm going to go ahead and lock this. Your primary color is the driver. As you can see, the entire site right here is using a primary color. If I change that, the entire site kind of changes the color. You can see it, everything becomes red. Everything has followed through. These colors become the primary color. If I make it green, it now becomes green. So that is the primary color that you want to use. Simply choose the color you like, and the entire site kind of follows it. Then we got, and of course you're not limited to these colors. You can choose from entire spectrum by using the custom color option. Then we have a set of secondary, third and fourth color here that we can use. Now these are mostly used with our shortcodes. There's a separate video that covers what shortcodes are and what they do, but I'm just going to quickly show you in terms of what the colors can do. So if you see right here, we have different colors being used here in our shortcodes, and these are driven by these. So if I change the primary color to, let's say, a blue, you can see this just changed to blue. If I change the secondary color to green, you will see this here change to green. And if I have a let's say purple, and this is purple, and if I do the fourth, an orange, and now that's orange. So this basically allows you to then go ahead and set 4 different colors, and now you have over hundreds of different shortcodes, over 350 shortcodes that are in kind of your own custom colors that you can use from tabs, accordions, icons, and so forth. So that's pretty neat. Also, these colors also govern, you could have individual menu items use these colors as well, and there's a separate video that you can take a look. It's called Mega Menu Module video that covers that. So that's what the colors are. Header color we've already covered, this one, and you can see it also applies to the sticky header as well, so that's pretty nice. Then at the very bottom we've also introduced something new, and that's the footer color, so you can also go ahead and change that as well. So you can manage that all through Style Switcher now. Alright, that's it for the colors, and I'm going to go ahead and reset it because I made it too many changes here and I don't want to keep track of what I did and what not did. So I just reset it to the default, and I will go ahead and go back to the home page. Alright, so next one we'll take a look at social icons. And I'm gonna go ahead and again collapse this so we can see back and forth. As you can see in this particular theme, I got 3 social icons on the top. I got Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So these are controlled through social icons right here. You simply click on the one that you wanna use. For example, as you can see right now, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn are clicked. Let's say I just wanted to add, let's say I want to add Google Plus to it, so I'm just going to click on that link, and then Google Plus will become visible. Or I would, let's say, want to add our Skype information. I can do that as well. And if I go back here, you see right now that there's the Google Plus, there's a Skype, and it's very easy to go ahead and add your own link and update your own link. Simply just paste your link here wherever your LinkedIn profile, or to your Google Plus page, or to your Facebook page. And if you don't want something, you can very simply turn it off. Let's say I don't want LinkedIn, I just tap on it and then LinkedIn is gone. So that's extremely easy. Again, I don't want to save the changes. Whenever I don't want to make any changes, I can hit reset, and then we're back to default as well. If I like what I see and I'm ready to save them, I would then hit save instead. So let me go back, choose my theme here, and let's continue down the Style Switcher options. Now, Style Switcher is extremely powerful. It has a lot of features, so it's gonna be a pretty long video here that we're trying to cover everything. The next thing in this Tahoe is DNN components, and we got a bunch of these. Right now you see we're not showing a breadcrumb is hidden. We are showing a copyright message, which is down here. I have the option to hide that and take that out. As you can see, that disappeared. Same thing with terms of use and privacy statement. I can get rid of those as well. And as you can see, they're now gone from the footer. There's nothing here. So I'll bring those back in, and you can see they're right here again. So Style Switcher DNN components allow us to customize it to include and hide different things. For example, let's say you don't want the register link, you can hide that. Let's say you don't want the search appearing on the top here, then we can go ahead and do that too. So I can just get rid of hide here, and then I see the search disappear, or I can bring it right back in, and there it is. What I want to look at next really quick is same thing with the language icons and login and so forth. The language icons won't show unless you have more than one language enabled on your portal. So next we want to look at menu, and that's what's new in here in Tahoe. We have over 8 different menus. What you see right now is just called the drop down or the mega menu, but we have 7 other menus in this theme, and this one right here is called overlay. So I'm just going to click here, and as you can see, the entire menu changed, and now it's an overlay menu. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this so we can see the menu a little bit better. And when you click on it, the menu is now overlaid on top of the site, and you kind of have your navigation right here and use that. And these menus are also mobile compatible, so you will see them in mobile device as well. That's overlay. We got inline, and inline menu is as the name says, kind of pops up inline right next to the icon. So I'll click on it, and there's the menu right there, and it appears right there, and I can close it. So that's inline. And we got, let's see, we got push down. Now push down is something that we've always had in our other themes, which would appear in the mobile view. Now a lot of clients wanted it to appear in the desktop view too, and we can certainly do that, and that's called push down. So that's that. Let's see what else we got here. We have the ability to slide the menus from the right, left. We can push them out or we can overlay them. Let's just look at the overlay. So I'll look at the overlay right, and in this case, if I click on the menu here, the menu comes from the right. It's overlaid on top of your site. Similarly, I can have it push from the right, and let's see, right there, and that pushes the entire site to the left when the menu is pushed in from the right. So we can take a look at that one too. As you can see, the site was pushed to the left and the menu appeared, and we have the same menus in both the left configuration as well. So a lot of different menu options there, and we have similar concept here with search. We got two different search options. The default search kind of appears right in the top here, kind of inline. It's called inline, and we have the other option called overlay. So if I go to overlay, then the search kind of comes right on top here, and then you can type in whatever you want. And so two different search controls, so that's pretty nice. Now let's look at breadcrumb, and I'm going to quickly again reset here so I can go back to the default. And then I'm going to navigate here to one of the inner pages just to kind of show what a breadcrumb would look like. Then I'm going to go to DNN components, and I'll say, okay, let's show a breadcrumb. And we have two different types of breadcrumbs as well. And this first one should really have this anchored. Hold on a sec. There we go. And the first one, you have the breadcrumb appear here, and it's what we call a small breadcrumb. We also have an option for large one. You can see the large one has the title of the page and kind of appears on the top. So once again, in the colors, we have the breadcrumb color as well. A lot of you requested that, we need to be able to change that, and you can do that from here, which kind of makes it extremely easy to kind of set your site. You can have a different header color, different breadcrumb color, and so forth. So two different breadcrumb types as well. Again, I'm going to reset this and go back. Alright, we're making down the list. I know this is a fairly long video, and for those who are sticking around to see the entire video, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But we're almost there. We just have a few more things to look at. So next one is shortcodes. This is what we call our packager. There are over 350 different shortcodes that's included with the theme. Now with the functionality, we also get a side effect, and that is the size of the theme gets larger and larger, and eventually becomes a performance issue. So if you're not using all the shortcodes, you can definitely uncheck them and remove them from the package, from the theme, so your file size becomes smaller, which in turn makes the theme much more quicker to load, and it's much more performance focused. Other things are like, if you're already using a Google Maps module and you don't want Tahoe to include the Google Maps scripts, then you can uncheck that and remove that as well. So here you have the option to uncheck all the shortcodes if you're not using them, or just handpick the ones you like, or if you prefer the entire full-featured theme, then just leave them toggled on. Finally, we got settings here, and here you can specify when someone clicks on the login, do you want them to redirect to a new page or show a pop-up? And then if people are on mobile, do you want them to allow to zoom in and zoom out by pinching, using their fingers and pinching in and out? By default, this is disabled because the theme is responsive to begin with, and they should have a pretty nice and clean look. And finally, if you're using Google Maps shortcodes, you would have to specify a API key, which you can do it here. We've pretty much looked at everything, and I know it was a lot to cover, but we've covered everything. If you have any questions or concerns, anything I missed out that's not covered here, feel free to open a support ticket and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you so much for watching this video.